I wear number 71 because it's a family number. My grandfather started it in 1950 here. My dad wore it 30 years later, and now 30 years later from him, I'm wearing it. My grandfather was Nick Chickillo, All-American 1952. You know, he's a two-way player, played offense and defense, played when there was no face mask. So, you know, that just describes, you know, the brand of football that was played back then. It was smash mouth, you know, real tough guys. You know, he came here and started the legacy of, you know, the Chickillo name.
We're in the Hall of Fame. Just looking at some pictures of my grandfather, his case, dedicated to my grandma, Nancy Lee Chickillo. My grandfather was a tough, you know, old school Italian guy. You know, all the stories I heard about him, you know, he was a great man, you know, did everything he could to take care of his family. And, you know, was obviously a great football player. He passed away when I was 7. So, only way I can see him is in pictures. And I think it's cool to see him in football pictures.
I've been in the Hall of Fame with Chick before, you know. When he's up there looking at the guy's picture, I just see the hunger and the desire in his eyes to be one of the greats up there. You know, God's just focus in his eyes, you know, and I feel like he gets it from his grandfather.
You know, every day when you put on 71, you feel connected to it.
Let's go, baby, let's go!
Knowing that my dad and my grandfather wore that number, and I get to do it too at the same school that I love.
From Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska, Miami Hurricanes football is on the air. This is the 11th meeting between the Hurricanes and the Cornhuskers in a series that dates back to 1951.
Playing in the rival games of Miami that, you know, my grandfather and my dad also played in, it's an honorary feeling to be a part of that.
An interesting note, Nick Chickillo played in the first ever Hurricanes-Nebraska game back in 1951, and tonight his grandson Anthony Chickillo will play in this matchup.
Hearing that Chickillo's grandfather played in the Nebraska game, I think that made him play even harder, you know. Going into the game, he had a real good focus.
Shotgun snap, Armstrong keeps it and Chickillo has him. No gain on the play.
When Chick's on the field, you know, he's a coach out there as well. You know, if he sees something, he gonna come back and tell Coach Jerk what he sees, and he gonna make an adjustment.
You know, things would come up throughout the game, and Anthony would, you know, ask certain questions. He sees things on the field as they happen, and that's always a plus when you have a player who can actually come back and have a conversation about what they saw and how they reacted to it.
Me and Coach Frank are always talking of ways we can be better. And we just try to communicate with each other so we can make that next play the best one.
And here come the Hurricanes on defense. Nebraska has it 1st and 10 from their 19. Chickillo on one end. Armstrong will give it a go. He's running up. Oh, fumble, the ball is loose. A big hit and Miami has it.
Chickillo.
Big hit, Miami has the football. Anthony Chickillo, with the family tradition, comes away with the recovery and a big hit.
You know, Dion made a great play coming downhill and forcing the ball out. I always try to run to the ball and just be around the ball, so if things like that happen, you can jump on it. After that moment, I just celebrated with my teammates a little bit and went back to the huddle, talked about what we needed to do to go out and execute better than we have. You know, something I know about my grandfather, and you know, I've met some of his past teammates, was he was a great teammate. He was a great leader, and guys, you know, like to be around him. I know guys are looking at me in the game to see where my mind's at, so I always try to stay composed and you know, just do whatever I can to help my teammates.
Chick is the best teammate you can have, man. Chick, man, he's a loving guy. He cares about anybody. During the Nebraska game, you know, I had like two, 3 bad plays in the game, you know, and Chick, he was right there to, you know, pick me up.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
Coach Jay was just telling me like what I messed up on, and I was just hard on myself about it, and Chick was just like man, pick it up, man. I got you, man. I'm not gonna let you tank it in. I got you. I'm gonna be there with you. And he's always been like that. Chick is one of the best teammates we got on this team. And, you know, that's why he's one of a captain.
Anthony, he plays with a lot of heart, no question. He's done everything we asked from a leadership standpoint and from an athletic standpoint. But there's still more that we could tap into. You know, the season's still young, and he's no means a finished product. He's definitely working toward greatness.
Here's the final snap of the game. Armstrong takes a knee. It was a hard-fought game. They went toe-to-toe.
After coming off the field in that game, me being a guy that's been around here, I know how it all works. You know, I know that as much as we wanted to win that game, these games coming up are more important because they're ACC games. In my mindset, I'm really disappointed that we lost the game. But I know, you know, the stories I heard about my grandfather, I know that he'd be proud of me no matter what. He would want us to keep fighting. I would say my grandfather went through tough times on the field, but even tougher off the field. Losing his wife and having 6 kids and having to work 18 hours in the city of Miami, working all kinds of jobs to be able to provide for him. That definitely helped him become the man he was, and the provider that he was for his family is something that I would do anything to be. It doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down, but how many times you get up, and just all the things that I've heard happen to him, and all the things that he had to overcome. I know that he would want me to be that type of person that can overcome anything. Like I said, we got a lot to play for, and I want to make sure all the guys on the team know that.
Hey, Canes on 3, Canes on 3, 1, 2, 3, Canes!